Saudi crown prince behind deal to swap Griner for Merchant of Death in curiously timed breakthrough. So now we know that it wasn't because of Biden's uh, shrewd negotiations. We now know it's not because of the goodness out the goodness of his heart that he's done this. It's because he was listening to the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, who he offended at the last meeting, and he's trying to get back into good graces because they're talking about cutting oil production and all this other stuff. They really do not like Joe Biden, just like the most of America. The Saudis really do not like Joe Biden. He was rude, disrespectful, and all types of stuff supposedly. So to get in their good graces, this why they did this prisoner swap. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here, and there's also a link to my Instagram. All right, let's talk about this news. The Daily Mail is calling it, quote, a deal soaked in blood after the governments of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Russia confirmed that Brittany Griner's release for notorious convicted arms trafficker Victor Bout came via Saudi UAE mediation efforts led by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Foreign ministry statements, both by both countries, hours after the now freed American and Russian walked past each other on a UAE airport tarmac, revealed the following per a leading Mid-East regional news outlet. They say Saudi Arabia's crown prince Mohammed bin Salman, you know they call him Bone Salman. He's the guy that cut up that journalist. Even though I don't really agree with that journalist, and he supposedly was a terrorist back in the day. No one still needs to be treated like cut up like that. But anyway, Mohammed bin Salman and UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed led mediation efforts that secured the release of two prisoners between the U.S. and Russia. A joint statement issued by both countries' foreign ministries said on Thursday, quote, the ministry said the success of the mediation efforts was a reflection of the mutual and solid friendship between their two countries and the United States and Russia, the statement said. And according to details of the exchange, a senior administration official would not comment directly on MBS' role, but said the U.S. will continue to lean on partners around the world to secure the release of unjustly detained Americans. The swap happened at Abu Dhabi Airport, where Griner and Bout had to walk past each other to reach their respective parties on the airport tarmac. Russian state media reports. The official said Griner was all smiles on the tarmac as she approached the American delegation. Amid the outrage that the Biden administration released a big catch notorious Russian criminal, also while leaving Paul Whelan behind to languish in a Russian penal colony, many are questioning the timing of all this coming together a mere 2 days after America dropped Khashoggi lawsuit against the Saudi leader. And I think so. So they're thinking that maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe they negotiated. MBS negotiated this because they dropped the charges against them, which Biden wanted dropped. And remember, when Biden was running, he was giving Trump a rash of crap for him for his dealings with MBS and saying he's a criminal and all this other stuff. But then and now that he's president, he's going in and working deals with MBS and dropping charges. To review the timeline and chain of possible connected events, Biden recently gave MBS immunity on the Jamal Khashoggi murder at a moment MBS was pushing production cuts through OPEC, which helped Putin and Russian interests. And now the White House gets Griner back, and perhaps it will quickly be forgotten how the Saudis just humiliated the U.S. administration on oil output. And that's what I alluded to earlier. Like they're cutting oil, I think it was 2 billion barrels or something like that. I can't really remember the exact number, but but they're cutting oil production, which is going to make the cost of oil go up. And Harrison Crank tweeted out, Biden just traded the guy that inspired Lord of War for Brittany Griner, who didn't even make the cut for Space Jam 2. That's that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny, but at the same time, it's telling. It's true. Again, I'm not saying I'm not happy that she's coming home. I'm sure her family's happy that she's coming home, but still, the swap is uneven. It's an uneven swap. They should at least threw in Whalen as well. But during his announcement from the White House with Griner family present, Biden spent a lot of time defending his administration from widespread accusations that Griner's release was prioritized because of her fame, while at the same time other detained Americans were left behind. And everyone can see that. Everyone can see that it's because of who she is. She's a WNBA star. She's part of the LGBTQ community. She's a black female. All these things is why she got released and they left Whalen behind. Quote, this was not a choice of which American to bring home. That's a lie. Come on, we all know this. But Biden said while vowing to continue working on freeing detained U.S. Marine veteran Paul Whalen, 61-year-old teacher Mark Fogel is also languishing in Russian prison. I totally forgot about him myself. And we had someone named Sean Davis. He tweeted out, you left a Marine to rot so you can get Twitter likes for freeing a celebrity who hates America. Ain't that the truth? And again, we all know all the stuff that she said about America. Hopefully she'll come home and change her tune. But she's a leftist, so I don't really think she will. But you know, she wouldn't stand for the flag and bashing America and all this other stuff. And now all of a sudden you asking for American help because it's something because you broke a law overseas. Yeah, it might have been heavy-handed and politically motivated, but the fact of the matter is you went to another country and broke their law. You know what I'm saying? But again, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to be hard or harsh on her or anything like that. I'm glad that she's coming home. But an understandably very frustrated and devastated Whalen family has issued the following statement upon the White House announcement of Griner's release. They say, despite the possibility that there might be an exchange without Paul, our family is still devastated. I can't even fathom how Paul will feel when he learns. Paul has worked so hard to survive nearly 4 years of this injustice. 4 years. Has it been a year yet? I'm not even sure it's been 1 year for Brittany Griner. But this guy's been there for 4 years. His hopes had soared with the knowledge that the U.S. government was taking concrete steps for once towards his release. He'd been worrying about where he lived when he got back to the U.S. And now what? How do you continue to survive day after day when you know that your government has failed twice to free you from a foreign prison? I can't imagine he retains any hope that a government will negotiate his freedom at this point. It's clear that the U.S. government has no concessions that the Russian government will take for Paul Whalen. And so Paul will remain a prisoner until that changes. Sad. And then you got Colin Rugg. He tweeted out, we just traded the Merchant of Death, Victor Bout, a man who sold arms to warlords, for Brittany Griner, a WNBA player. This may be the worst trade deal in history. So there's a lot of people with that sentiment on Twitter. In a huge and unexpected development, Russia, of course, released them. Thank goodness. Released her. Thank goodness for that. But we would like to see some stuff done for Whalen as well. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.